This is my multi-villager curing station. So, once you get all the villagers in place, you send one of them over to this zombie here, and they will quickly be transformed into a zombie villager. Then you send them back with the press of a button. Now, because all of these villagers are in a line, you don't have to convert them individually. They'll go down the line and convert each other, which saves you a lot of effort. Now, once they've all been turned into zombies, you can take your splash potion of weakness and your golden apples and start curing. Now, I like being very frugal with my splash potions of weakness, and because they're all in a line, you should be able to use just one, and thus save potions. Now, here's where the trapdoors and the levers come into play. The zombie villagers won't all convert back into regular villagers at the same rate. Some will take slightly longer. So, because the villagers are all right next to each other, whoever gets cured first will immediately become zombified again. But if we flick down all of these levers, thus opening up all of those trapdoors, they'll be separated from each other, and the zombies won't be able to attack whoever gets cured first. Now, to demonstrate what I'm talking about, I'm just going to leave that trapdoor open. Alright, so this one is now cured, and you can see they got immediately transformed back into a zombie villager, whereas these two here are separated from the other ones by the trapdoors, so they're safe. I'll just close this, and we're gonna have to cure this guy again. Alright, but without further ado, let me show you how to build this thing. Alright, so these are all of the materials that you will need for each unit of this curing station. So if you want to cure 5 villagers at a time, you will need this many of the respective blocks. And slight note is you don't need to use deep slate, but this does need to be any kind of solid block. And you also don't need the redstone lamps, but those are just to show which stations are on and which are off. Once you've decided where you want to build, you can start placing blocks. Now, slight note is this design can be extended as far as you would like. I'm just going to make it 5 wide because that's just what fits in my trading hall here. But if you want to cure a bunch of villagers at once, of course, you can make this much bigger. Alright, now let's start off by placing 5 solid blocks in a line like this, and then let's place buttons on top of those. Alright, now we're going to take some temporary blocks and come up 2 from there. Now we're going to place 1 solid block on top of those, just like that, and then extend that out for a 5 in total. And then let's get rid of these temporary blocks. Alright, now let's put our redstone lamps on top of those. Now this step is optional if you don't have redstone lamps, it's just really to signify which stations are on and which are off. Alright, now let's place levers right there on all of those. And next, let's place our trapdoors. Now it's really important that they are placed facing in this direction or this direction, either of those would work, but they just can't be facing this way or this way. And you can check that they're correct if you flip one of those levers, and they should open up like that. Alright, so the next step is to start placing the rails. So now we need all of the powered rails to be facing this way, so if we just place them like that, they're going to get messed up. So the trick to placing these the way you want is to place a temporary one there, and then another one there. Alright, so we're just going to repeat that all the way to the end here. Alright. So now the section that will hold the villagers is finished, so we can do the section that will hold the zombie. Now, where you place the zombie is not super important. You just need to be able to connect the 2 areas by rail. And for me, I'm going to put the zombie here because that's just where I have space. So put a temporary block too high on the block where the zombie is going to stand, and then put iron trap doors surrounding that block in any space that basically isn't, you know, a wall. So this will keep the zombie in. Now you can get rid of that temporary block and place a powered rail right next to the zombie. And if you don't have a wall here, just be sure to place a solid block there so that any minecarts traveling here will stop. Alright, now we are going to connect the first villager cell to the zombie. So place rails like this. And for me, these rails connect my village breeder down to here, so that's why there's rails there, so let's just fix that. Alright, now the final step is to put a button here, and that is how you will move the villager. Alright, so now that everything here is in place, we now need to get the villagers down here. So I'm just going to actually remove that and just make a line of rails like this. And I keep my villagers on my second floor up here. My village breeder outputs right here. So I'm just gonna send 5 villagers down to my of course, when you're working with villagers, things never go perfectly, so. Alright, there we go. Okay, so back down here we have a mess of villagers, and, you know, when you're building stuff like this, there is a trade-off between, you know, how automated something is and how simple and aesthetic that thing is, and I was going for, definitely simple and aesthetic here, which means that there does need to be a lot of like manual movement of villagers and such, so yeah. So yeah, all these rails do need to be placed manually, and then all the villagers need to be kind of like pushed into where you want them, so yeah. Okay, so now I have all of my villagers in place, and the only remaining thing to do is to grab the zombie. So before you do that, you will want to get your name tag ready. Alright, and then you can wait for nightfall, and then we will go zombie hunting. Alright, so night has fallen, and now the easiest way to get zombies into this little section here is to take out some of the wall, and apparently some of the foundation of the house, and everything spills everywhere. And oh look, we already have a convenient zombie. And is to just get the zombie to like try to follow you into your house. Might have to get rid of this. Hello. Can he not like pathfind here? But yeah, is to just try to lure a zombie into your house. Hello? Sir? Do you want to come in? Yeah, these things never end up being that easy. Hey, you took my trapdoor. Bro, come here. Come in my house. I want to give you some nice villagers. Come here. Oh, alright, we have a taker. Alright, so they'll just follow you into your house, and because, the trapdoors are here, like, they can't go any further, so they'll be stuck just like that. Alright, and now be sure to put a name tag on them so they don't despawn, and optionally, you can give them some sort of weapon, which they may or may not pick up, and that will help the zombie or the villager conversion just go a little bit faster. But yeah, now that the zombie is in place, you can start converting your villagers. So let's send this guy off. And if you're in survival, you're probably gonna have to move out of the way so the zombie doesn't see you before they start attacking the villager. But yeah, there you go. Okay, final note. So, before you do any zombie villager conversion, just make sure that you are in hard mode, because if you are in easy mode, there is a 100% chance that your villager will die instead of being converted into a zombie villager, and if you are in normal mode, there is only a 50% chance that your villager will survive, whereas in hard mode, there is a 100% chance that your villager will survive. So just be sure that you're in hard mode before doing any villager conversion. Alright, so if you thought this tutorial was useful and that it deserves a rating, that would be much appreciated. If you would like to see more Minecraft tutorials, be sure to subscribe. Thank you! Bye!